All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up our Silksong Platinum journey, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for... Wait, what? Wait, this isn't supposed to happen. Why am I here? I can't be back here. I'm not doing this again. Guys, Silksong's one thing, but this? No. No. I'm not playing this game again. How's it going, everybody? My name is Absoulem, and welcome to part 1 of my full platinum walkthrough for Hollow Knight, the game that walks so that Silksong could run. And guys, you have made it very clear, the people have voted that you wanted this to be the next game on my channel, so I am more than happy to oblige. I love this game, and I'm very excited to go on this journey once again, and this time with each and every one of you to earn that platinum trophy. So welcome aboard. If you're just now finding my channel, or maybe you're joining me from a previous video, I welcome you, and I hope you guys are excited to get this thing started. But first, I want to go over a couple things just so we're all on the same page here at the top of this walkthrough. Okay, so first, if you've never followed a walkthrough of mine, I like to try to make true completionist style walkthroughs where I basically show you all the obvious stuff like items and trophies, get you the full completion, but also take it a step further and cover any secrets or lore, Easter eggs, pretty much everything that the developers created. I like to work into my walkthroughs. That way you can beat a game in its entirety and truly complete it. So of course, that is the plan with Hollow Knight, and I'm very excited to get this journey started and show you everything that this game has to offer. Alright, and now I'm just going to quickly rattle off a few statistics for the walkthrough for anyone that's curious. So it's going to take us one playthrough to get the platinum for anyone that's on console like myself. However, if you are on Steam or something, you have to actually get the speedrun trophy and the Steel Soul. So don't worry, at the end of this walkthrough, even though I'm not going to be showing it, I will link a good guide for the speedrun. That way, if you're on Steam, you can go and get that final playthrough trophy for that. But yeah, I'm going to be showing you everything for the base game and the DLC, which will take us up to 112% game completion, the extra 12 coming from the DLC content. So don't worry, you already own the DLCs if you own the game. It's a free update to the game. It was not something you had to buy or anything like that. If you own the game, it's already updated, you already have all the DLCs, and I will definitely be covering all of that in this game, which includes the Path of Pain and things like the Pantheons and all of that fun stuff with Grimm. It's a whole nightmare of content, but we are definitely going to be covering that. I'm going to keep it to about 20 to 25 chapters, each around an hour, give or take, and I'm just going to try to move through the world as fast as I can. It's a much smaller game than Silksong, so it won't take us nearly as long to beat the Platinum journey, but it is definitely a difficult game. I wouldn't come into this expecting it to play just like Silksong. It's a lot simpler. It's a little bit less polished than Silksong is, but like I said, this game's nearly a decade old and it still holds up, but it's definitely a simpler game than Silksong, but it is a lot more challenging when it comes to like parkour and some of the bosses. So definitely mentally prepare for this game. It's a little bit different, and you might not be used to it if you've only played Silksong. It's going to be a different experience, but I promise you it has a lot of overlap, and I personally love this game, and I think you will too once you get into it and kind of get familiar with it. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with part 1, the only way that we know how here, which is of course with our foreshadowing quote: "The best mirror is an old friend." And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. Well, look who came crawling back for little old me's help in another game. So I guess it's only right if I load up a new save file, huh? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's start a brand new game. Against all better judgment, let's begin this journey of fun, and it's not going to be painful in any way, okay? So just keep that thought in mind as we trek on into the world here. So go ahead and select classic mode. You probably don't even have the other two unlocked anyways, but select new game, classic, and now we are in the game officially for part 1. So after the cutscenes, we are going to begin. This chapter, we're going to unlock 3 trophies. We're going to fight a few bosses, meet a few NPCs, complete 2 areas, and of course, meet a very famous character that you might or might not recognize if you followed my last walkthrough. So a lot of stuff to do today. I wanted to get a decent chunk of things done just to really set us up for success. So definitely going to be moving quick here. I would take it, if you're new to this game or if you're new entirely to this kind of genre, take a minute to just get familiar with the controls. Don't press yourself too hard to like be exactly perfect like what I might be doing with the enemies. Just really take a second to get familiar with the pogoing, the melee, all of that. Just take your time. and get familiar with it. Here's the controls. You know, just learn them. Take a beat. Just get familiar with jumping and swinging and all of that. And once you're ready, then we can proceed. Just so you guys know, I'm always going to be giving you advice on if you're a beginner level. I'll give you advice on how to get through an area. If you're an expert, I'll give you some advice on like advanced maneuvers if you want to skip things or whatever. I'm going to try to tailor this walkthrough to everyone, no matter what your skill level is. And because my goal at the end of this is to make it to where no matter how good or bad you are, we're all getting that platinum trophy. Okay. So some things you might already know and some things you might need as like a refresher, or, you know, maybe you didn't know. So just bear with me in case you already know something. Maybe not everybody does. So to start the game, head to the left here and we'll find a Geo Rock. And now we are officially out of poverty, everybody. We're not broke anymore. The Geos are definitely our currency. So it's like the beads in Silk Song. I like the beads better, honestly. I like the shape of them. I like saying it better. Geo Rocks just doesn't do it as much as like beads, rosary beads. But it's what we're working with, all right? So go ahead and collect these Geos here on this side as well. My goal is to get us pretty wealthy right away. You know, because you can go a lot of places, because this game is not sectioned off like Silk Song is. So you can actually access more areas first before... I guess there's no like zones you can't get to unless you have an ability. So it's not like Silk Song where there's Act 1 and Act 2 and so on. It's very different. So we can get more loot early on. So that's my plan, is to get us really well set up. So just follow along and buy things whenever I do. I'm never going to make you buy something that's like out of like pocket, I suppose. Like you're never going to not have what I need. Like I'm not going to farm off screen and then be like, all right, buy all these things. Why don't you also have 10,000 Geo Rocks? Like I've always hated when walkthroughs do that, when like the person's like, all right, I farmed 10,000 offline, you know. So I'm always going to buy things when I know we've earned enough. If you were to die and not make it back to your body, you know, then you might want to farm off screen or, you know, farm to get back to where we were. You know, so like that's the only exception I would say. Where is this fool going? I'm trying to show him. He is running away from me. Anyways, lifeblood. This is what I was trying to show, but my guy went on an adventure. So these blue cocoons, when you break them, they spawn these little blue guys. And when you break those, you get an extra health. Lifeblood is a huge part of this world. You're going to see it quite a bit throughout the game. It's a big part of the lore and everything like that. So it adds a health bar to your health, and it goes away if you rest at a bench or if you get hit. But definitely something to be looking for whenever you see it. They're usually located in areas before bosses or tricky areas. So definitely be looking for those. And then that floor, when it falls, you can, if you're lucky, you can land on the left here and get the rocks. If you miss it, don't worry. You'll get it when you loop back around. So it's not the end of the world. But it's nice to get it out of the way. All right, so once we jump over, we can head to the right here and go below, where we'll get some more geos. But yeah, I'm just going to assume that you're always like somewhere near my amount of geos, okay? Like I can't predict if you're going to die, but I'm going to leave it up to you to like kind of stay in line with where I'm at in geos. And I'm going to show you all the lootable ones and all of that. And you might want to make backup saves at the start of each chapter. That way, in case you were to like completely botch it and lose all your geos, at least all you have to do is reload the save file. So you know, I'll leave that up to you on like managing that. But I'm going to assume that you're always picking up the geos that I show you, or around the same amount, you know, and stuff like that. And you can trust me to pace the purchases. It's not going to be all at once, you know, that sort of thing. So anyways, this is our first trophy. It's called Charmed, and it's for picking up a charm. It's kind of in the name. But yeah, these are like abilities we can equip at a bench, which we will go to in a minute. But yeah, go ahead and pick up that, and that will be our first of many trophies. Now we can loop back around, and if you had missed that drop spot on the left, this would be your chance to get that when we get back around. So right there, you can fall down like that. So now we're going to head up, and we're going to break the shortcut right here. Now we're back on the main path. And this is the end of the tutorial dungeon, if you will. So get that lore if you want. And breaking this door right here is going to open up the actual game. And that's the end of the tutorial. So this is officially where the game begins. This is home base. This is Dirtmouth. It's where all of our friends live. It's our memories, our childhood home. It's what we fight for. It's what we die for. It's honestly what we live for. So when you're ready, jump down and aim for the bushes. And let's go meet our friends who I'm almost positive are planning a surprise party. So let's go meet them. Guys, you can come out now. Oh, who are you? Oh shit, it's just an old guy. I guess, all right. I guess my friends are somewhere else. That's fine. I guess I'll just sit on this bench and be depressed. Nah, fuck it. I'll talk to this guy. What's up, buddy? Our friends will come back eventually, I'm sure. Nah, I'm just kidding around. We don't have friends in this game. Go ahead and equip the Fury of the Fallen. That is a charm that we don't really need it, but it's better to have it on now instead of nothing. And now we've rested a bench. The benches reset the world. All the enemies respawn except for bosses. It resets your health. If you die, you spawn at the last bench. And it's also where you're able to equip anything on your character is only at a bench. So in case you're completely new to this game, that's how those work. The Elder Bug, you want to exhaust his dialogue. And we can continue on. There's not much to do here right now. But as the game continues, we'll open up all these houses. We'll meet more NPCs. And we actually will make friends. But for right now, we're a lone wolf. We're a lone bug. All right, so drop down here and we can get the geos. I think I've explained all the basics at this point, so now I won't be explaining like benches as much anymore. So now we can kind of just press onward because none of this is difficult per se. It's like just standard stuff. So not much to explain, just more like where to go. But I wanted to at least take a little bit of time for the tutorial stuff. In case you're not coming, to this game after Silksong or whatever. Maybe you've never played a game like this. So at least now it's a little bit of basics explained. So speak to Quirrell here, who is pondering a big black egg. And that might or might not be tied to the final chapter of our game. But, we'll never know because Quirrell's asking questions that are, just not for chapter 1. He's asking final chapter questions, So we're going to let him ponder. He's going to have to be a little bit patient, wait for us to get to the end of the game to maybe know what he's asking. So we'll just leave him to it, but definitely speak to him. This is a good area to get good at pogoing. I mean, you can definitely do it like the way I'm doing it, where I hit him. But if you're not familiar with pogoing, then I would do it. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. But come up here and we can fight this big guy who has a slam attack. You jump over it. Otherwise, you just hit him and back up each time. And it takes about 10 hits. So hit him, back up, so on. And then there's the slam attack. So you just jump over it. And last hit. There we go. And he drops a whole bunch of geos. So now we're going to free a grub. And these are collectible items in the game. These are our companions. And you break the jar. It sends them back to the grub home. And these are tied to 2 trophies. The collecting half of the grubs and all of the grubs. And also they are tied to rewards that give us like mass shards. So the grubs are 100% mandatory for a number of reasons. But this is our first grub. So I'll let you decide if you like the grubs or fleas in Silksong better. Personally, I think the fleas are cuter. But I don't think it's fair to compare them because the fleas have like the games and they have dialogue and they have all sorts of cool stuff. But just off of sheer looks, I think the fleas are better. Obviously, the fleas have more going on. But I like fluffy things, not grub things. Yeah. Alright, so speak to Mila here, who is just a cute little singing bug. Now, that's a real comparison. Her or Sherma? That's a tough one. Anyways, speak to her, exhaust her dialogue, and now we can continue on. That area we're not going to be able to complete just yet, but we do want to talk to Mila. Check in with her, you know? I can collect the geos here. Oops. So here's that pogoing. I can like bounce on top. The better you get at that, the better you'll be at Hollow Knight for a number of reasons. The maneuvering, the like parkour, the enemies. This game is entirely based around pogoing. So I'll show you like how invincible you actually are. Pretty much every enemy has no upward attack. So the better you are at this, like I messed up, but the better you are at that, the better you will be. So if you're new to it, this is a great chapter to figure out how to do that. All right, so now I want to show you something really quick. There's a grub up there. You can come back and get him once we get an ability to double jump or dash over. That's fine. However, we could absolutely get him now, so I'm going to show you the way to do that. It's not always guaranteed like perfectly to work the exact same way, but if you were to mess up or if it's not working, just leave the room and then come back in. Like if you kill the fly, then just leave and come back. You can try this as much as you want. So I'm going to show you kind of like generally what this looks like. So get the fly's attention, bring him over here, and I like to kind of stand near this wall. And once he gets over here, we can run back, and sometimes he'll fly up there to the grub. We want him to go there, but other times you can drop over and then he'll fly. He's being a little stubborn, so what I like to do is now I'll pogo off of him just once, and a lot of times he just automatically flies up to the grub. Hang on. He's being stubborn, of course. There we go. So like the closer you can jump to the grub, the better. And then usually he'll follow you up to the grub. But I found that if you pogo on him once, he usually just flies straight into the grub. At which point you'll want to loop back around and quickly jump and pogo off of him to reach the grub. But if for some reason like that's just not working out for you, you're getting frustrated, that's okay. You can come back later once we get the double jump and free the grub. But it's very simple, I would say, to get that. So, definitely try. But if it's just not working or if the fly's being stubborn, come back later. But usually the fly makes it rather simple. So get the grub, get the geos, and now we can continue on to this main room. Don't worry too much about killing the enemies because they just respawn over and over every time we enter and leave. So they're more just obstacles, if anything. So now I'm going to quickly show you where we're at. So if you head up to the top right corner and you head right, we're back to the well that we dropped down in. So that's kind of like a visual of where we're at. And now to the top left corner is the grub home. So I wanted to quickly show the grubs. And the elder one in the middle up there, he's the guy who gives you rewards. He doesn't necessarily count for the amount. He's just the leader. But as you see, we've collected 2 grubs, and there's our 2 grubs. So you'll see the homes here fill up with grubs, and you can keep track of how many you've rescued. But every 5 grubs, I think it is, you get bigger and better rewards. So we're just getting 100 geos per grub at the moment, but we'll keep getting better rewards as we go. So collect the 200 geos from the 2 grubs, or the 100, depending on if you got that 1 grub or not. And then feel free to kill or just simply drop down either way. I'm just going to collect a few grubs, or a few geos along the way. And now we'll meet Cornifer for the first time and buy the map. He is the chakra of this game. Or I suppose chakra was the Cornifer of Silksong. He came first. Let's give him props. He was here first. So exhaust his dialogue. Alright, there we go. Now there is a way to fight the boss in this little area, so I'm not going to do it, but I will show it really quick. It dumps out at Cornifer, so if you're a veteran player, you can do this. If not, then don't worry about this. We will absolutely do this later. Fuck, those fly knocked me out. I'm just going to quickly show you in case you are interested in doing this. Oh my goodness, game, please. Okay, great. I swear, sometimes this game, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think you all know what I'm trying to say. Just sometimes, like that. There we go. So absolutely do not do this if you are not like a veteran player, okay? Oh shit. All right. Cool. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to show you what it would be. That way you can do it if you want. This leads to a boss fight that dumps out right by Cornifer. It's a way to get a mass shard very early and also knock out one of the bosses. We will do this once we have the ability, but if you don't want to wait for the ability, you can pogo off of the spikes and then jump up and over, and it kind of looks like... I don't want to do it entirely because then I can't get back, but you want to basically pogo, and then you can pogo off that top left one, and then you can land on that pillar, and then you just drop down and you follow that path. So it's easy if you kind of jump into the middle and then pogo off the right spikes, pogo a couple times, and then you'll be able to jump over to the left and pogo and do it kind of like you saw me do, like 1, 2, and then I get to the top left. Okay, so if you want to, and you know, if you're a veteran player, I think you'll know what I'm trying to do right there, and you can absolutely get to a path. It's a very small linear path, and it leads to a boss fight. And it's not a very hard boss, but you know, you can beat that. It gives you a mass shard, and then essentially it dumps you out right here where Cornifer is. So if you want to, do that now. If not, just wait until I come and do it later once we have the actual ability. So I just wanted to point that out for anyone that is interested. It is possible. Whoops. I can pogo off that guy and get the geos. This is leading us to a grub, and we're also going to see a new enemy. Well, technically 2 new enemies. Because he spawns these little flies, too. These little baby flies. Alright, next grub is unlocked right there. That is number 3. How are we doing on time? Alright, 20 minutes. Alright. Man, we have to move. I'm going to try to get all this stuff done. Alright, I have to catch up on my notes real quick. So definitely buy the map if you hadn't already, up from Cornifer. And when you're ready, we can head to the right here. There's some geos up top and a secret room that we can get even more geos. There we go. So you break the wall, and you can get this thing of geos right here. And you can drop down, and I suppose technically you could, like, I don't know. I guess, like, you don't really have to go through the middle there, but you would have to drop down, so it's kind of unavoidable. But if you want the checkpoint first, you can come in up above that spot. But that lockdown is so simple that it's, like, not even really worth worrying about it. But let's say you're at, like, 1 HP. You'd probably want to do what I did, where you go up and over and then drop down and then hit the bench and then come and do this lockdown. But it's literally 3 of these, and that's it. So it's not like a oh shit type of lockdown. It's kind of laughably simple. And that's it. So, wow. Really struggled there. Just, I don't know. I find it funny. So, a bunch of geos there. We can't get up there just yet, so don't worry about that. Feel free to rest the bench if you needed to, if you did the lockdown first. And now we're going to drop down for some even more geos. Like I said, I'm trying to get us rich. We can't go up there. Not yet, at least. Nice. Got him to fall in the non-spike area. All right, once you get those geos, you can head to the right. All right, now we're going to have to... there's a couple enemies here you can kill. This isn't difficult, but it's a little bit of a new type of obstacle with these, like, worm guys. So just, you have to be quick there. And then we can head back around again, where we can jump over to them this time. And this one's not really worth it to me, honestly. But if you want it, it's there. All right, and then that just goes back to where we were. So when you're ready, head to the right. And we can go ahead and activate the bench and the stag station, the first stag station, which is required for a trophy. So rest of the bench there, that'll give you a checkpoint, and then we can buy the stag station for 50 geo. And you can ring the bell to call our boy, who we're not going to use him just yet, but you can at least exhaust his dialogue. And then now you'll be able to, you know, fast travel just like we were with Ira. So, same thing. If you didn't play Silksong, then that's just a fast travel between zones. And he's kind of like our travel companion. All right, but before we do anything, we're going to drop, let's see. We're going to drop down first. All right, so all the geos. Definitely be looking for all the loose ones that just fall places like I am now. Otherwise, you might lose out on some precious monies. Okay, so that leads to an area we can't get to just yet. It's an elevator. So don't worry about that. We want to just head to the right. This is a soul statue, basically. So whenever you hit it, it gives you soul back. I already have max soul, but if you were down, you could hit it, and it just, after 4 or 5 hits, it runs out. But something to, like, if you want to refresh, that's what those do. We're gonna go fight a boss in a moment. That's not very difficult, but it is a boss. This is the good old Gruz mother. To me, Gruz sounds like a name of like a dog. It's just like a complete mutt. Like a farm dog. Like, come on, Gruz. Come on now. Come on inside, Gruz. It's enough. That's enough screwing around, Gruz. You know what I mean? But it's like 10 hits and this boss is done. And we're done. Now, Gruz is a mother, as the name implied. So if we wait just a moment, we can find out what kind of I don't know, what kind of secrets lie inside. Oh shit! It's a whole bunch of babies. They're all making fart sounds. So not a very hard boss. It is the very first boss of the game. Now, when we drop down to the right here, there's an NPC that we can't reach just yet, so don't worry about that. That is an important NPC, but that's for later. But we are going to meet an NPC, the Sly Fly. Exhaust good old Sly's dialogue. He'll teleport up to Dirtmouth. All right. And we can break this and head up. There we go. And now inside of here, we can't access the train just yet, or the tram or whatever, but there is a secret stash of geos underneath the train. So I wanted to show that while we're here. This will be later on in the game, we'll access the train. Ah, almost. All right, so then drop down here in this left room, and we're gonna free another grub. So this one's a little bit of a pogo. It's kind of your first small pogo challenge. We'll say it's the first parkour section. Very easy warm up. Okay, so free the flea, not the flea, free the grub, and we are on to, I think that's the fourth one. I think it is off the top of my head. Anyways, free him. And now we can continue on and up. And jump over those spikes. This game, the difficulty really comes in with the maneuvering. Like the parkour of this game is next level. Okay. A new enemy here. Like I was saying, the pogo is goated. Whoops. Okay, let's not fall again. And there is another grub. Go home. And then this is going to open up a shortcut right here. You might or might not have explored it earlier in your playthrough, but this is where, if you remember, we dropped down. We could have dropped down. This opens that up, basically. Okay, we are not going this direction, by the way. Just to be clear, we will always come back for this. These like dark areas, so don't worry about these. Okay? All right, and now we are gonna, let's see, head down. Gotcha. All right. You can rest the bench if you need to. But now we're going to head into kind of the end of this area. It's the start of the beginning of the end of this area. Another big guy here. All right, last hit, I bet. Nope, one more. All right, there's a secret room right here, I believe. Yeah. There we go. We're not going to be able to complete this secret room, but we can certainly try to, you know, visualize what it might look like to beat it. But there is some geos there. But yeah, we don't have the ability to actually get through that. Unless you're made... You might be built different. I don't know. You're welcome to try, but it's not going to go well. But it's good to open it up so you remember where it's at. As you can see, it's a kind of an interesting little area. Up above, it's just nothing but spikes. So we will get the ability later on. So now we're going to come over there and grab all that, but we have to fight our first like actual boss. It's going to be a tad bit more difficult than Gruz, but still pretty simple. This is the False Knight. I guess like before we spawn him, he is very simple. You just spam him. He jumps over you, or you go below him. You know, it's just avoid him basically. And then there's a radius of his hammer. You just want to always back off his radius. Kind of like the big guys we fight already, like the ones where we just hit him and back off. It's very similar to that. And then every now and again he'll stun himself, and his head pops out of his helmet, and that's when you can actually do damage to him. And it takes about 3 to 4 stuns, and then he's done. So relatively simple. So we're just going to keep spamming him. I jump under. There we go. So as you can see, not hard. And then he'll pop out, get a handful of hits in. And then the faster you are, the more aggressive you are. But see, now I keep my distance. We avoid this stuff falling. I'm just always giving him enough room for his hammer thing. Ah, I was a little greedy there. I'm trying to just go for it, you know? Here we go. This should be it. He's gonna fall through the floor like that. And then we can pop out and kill him. Oh no! And our first little Easter egg of the game will be if we just stare at his little hammer. I wonder what will happen. What? Is it alive? All right. Have a good trip, I guess. Okay, bye. He's a nice guy once you get to know him. But anyways, that's the False Knight. That is a trophy called Falsehood. And now we get to pop a very satisfying chest. Yeah! It's funny in like this game, like we're basically the size of the chest. So yeah, we can't go any further up there. Grab all of the loot. So that was our second trophy. We've had so far. We've had the charm one, and then the beating the False Knight. I can go ahead and open up the shortcut right here. But first, we're gonna do a little small area. Might as well while we're here. This is not as crazy of an area as it might seem. Yeah, but this will give us an ability. So go ahead and rest here so you have a checkpoint. But then this lady's going to kidnap us. The snail shaman, who you might remember from Silksong. So this will be our vengeful spirit. They're always doing stuff to us, these shamans. So this is one of our abilities we need for the 112%. This allows us to like basically shoot soul at stuff as long as we have soul. But you can talk to her and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I just had to see if you're worthy or not. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, it's like, I guess she forgot that we rescued the entire realm in Silksong. But hey, whatever. Yeah, so now we gotta go prove ourselves. It's a pretty short area. You can either kill with this or with the thing with your new ability. Not much to really say or do much in this room. It's just kind of like progress. Yeah, so we're going down. Also, you can use the R1 ability or like circle. Either one works. I don't know why they're both available, but you know. Dude, what? Why? Okay. My character just spazzed out right there. Oh my gosh, sometimes I swear. Maybe it's just I'm used to the Silksong grabbing the ledges now. Now I'm used to that method instead of this way. There's another soul totem thing. Actually used it this time. That's nice. So yeah, like I said, it's a pretty simple area, small area too. And our first like official lifeblood, I would say. The other one was kind of just a tutorial to show you what it was, but this is the first time like we have actual lifeblood. Get back here. And now it's a boss fight. So this guy, he only is able to be hit when we're not right beside him. If we get near him, he shuts up. So you want to just shoot him with our ability. If you run out of soul, you just wait for him to spawn a little guy, and then you get some more soul back. And it takes, I think it's 4 hits. Yeah, 4. And that's that. So now make sure you grab the shell, or the soul catcher. That's one of the charms. And then we can break that and then speak to the shaman. And we proved ourselves, basically. And that's that area complete. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and equip the soul catcher instead of the other one. So just click on it, unequips it. And then this one increases the amount of soul gained when striking an enemy with the nail. So that's definitely better than the other one. And now that area is done. So now we're heading back down where we opened up that shortcut. And we can read or listen to Cornifer's message here. And now I'm gonna head back to whatchamacallit, the Dirt Mouth. But along the way, we're gonna stop at the Grub home and get our rewards. Oh my gosh, game. Let's not work with me at all. I want to murder something. That's fun. God, does everything want to be right here? There we go. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm here. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Ooh, I want it. Mash shard. Nice. So, yeah, we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4 in the very back. And then 5 somewhere. Oh yeah, way, way, way in the back. You see him right above my head. So we're up to 5 now. All right, now we're gonna head to the home base, where we are gonna have a few more options now. Now that we've proven ourselves worthy of friends. Ooh, I don't know if I'm going to get through the entire other area. I underestimated how fast it would take. We'll see. I'll see how far I can get. Empanada.
Papanada.
Papanada. I feel you, Zelda. I feel you. All right, we're going to buy the compass. And we're going to buy the quill. Boom, boom, boom. Like that. And now we have the map-related items. Of course, these are all optional if you want. I usually buy those whenever I have like a serious amount of excess, but until then, I don't need it. But, you know, now that we have the compass and the quill, we can throw on the compass and our soul catcher for now. And then you'll see that our maps now are filling in. So if they're grayed out, it means we haven't explored it yet. And if it's filled in like normal, it means we've gone there. But also we can see where we are on the world. So that's pretty nice. All right, we can talk to him a little bit more. And then Sly is here, who is going to sell a whole bunch of shit. Let's see. We can buy the mask. I'm not going to buy the other mask yet, but just the first one. And then I'm not going to buy anything else at this point. Just going to leave that alone for now. Alright, we can exhaust his dialogue. And now we're done with that. Nope, stop. And yeah, that's it. For now at least. Let's see, is it better to stop? You know what? Yeah, I guess I will stop here. That'll be easier, because that way we can do the entire area in the next chapter. I was gonna go to the entire new area, but there's a lot to do there, and I'd rather put it all in one chapter than split it in half. And besides, this is the first chapter. This will be a shorter one, and then, like I said, I'm gonna try to keep the chapters to about an hour. But usually the start of these games are a little bit slower, and there's not as much to do. So from this point forward, though, all the areas that we do are usually more tedious. So hopefully this is a good warm-up for everybody, and rest of the bench and make a save, if you will. We're not pressed to finish this game quick, so unless you're doing the speed run at the same time, in which case you might want to start making backup saves. But it's not like a super long game, even if you're just playing normally. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next chapter when we pick up for the green path, whatever, what is it called? I think it literally is. Yeah, it's literally called Green Path. Okay, I will see you guys in Green Path.